Hi everyone, it is time for the third part of this video. This is a page from the Johanna Basford Weekly Planner and also Worlds of Wonder and Flourish. So we have completed our main sort of mushroom and now it's time to do all our pretty bits and pieces around the edge. We're just going to start here and work across. I think that's probably the best idea. Now I always like to do these flowers in a pretty blue and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab the Forget-Me-Not blue. It's one of our slightly lighter blue shades in the Holbein pencils that we're using. Forget-Me-Not blue. I can't see if you can see that or if it's in focus. And I'm going to sharpen it and we're going to get going. I haven't decided what colour I'm doing this bit. Now these actually to me look a bit like oxeye daisies, which have a very dark blackish brownish centre, and they're orange, but we can't do orange again, so oops, we're doing this colour. I will probably do cream for the centre, but we'll see. I might change my mind. So I got what I wanted done, which was to nip to the bathroom, make a coffee and have some chocolate. All very important jobs. And it's because you may have been wondering, because at the end of the last video I said I had to go and do something. That's what I had to do. I also grabbed my tablet because I just wanted to, in case my son needed to get in touch with me. He's at uni and I've forgotten to put my slippers back on my feet. Cold. Now I'm not in here. Because my slippers are getting so big and loose that if I go up and down stairs they tend to fall off, so I have to be really careful. So because I was rushing up and down, I didn't want to keep them on. I didn't want them to fall off, so I took them off, and now I'm going to use cream for the centres. Now I forgot, I don't know where I left them. Cream. So I think I've left them by my desk next door, but never mind. I'll go and get them if my feet get really cold. I'll try and put them by the radiator. Oh, I put them on the radiator. If I pull my chair in a tiny bit and try not to hit the desk with it, there we go. I almost reached the radiator with my toes. Oh. Now, the leaves and stems, I'm distracting myself. I think I'm going to use a paler green to go with the paler blue. This mint green, actually, I was going to use the surf green, but decided the mint green is going to work. It's not, for me, this isn't a really minty colour. I'm going to do these leaves in the same way, so a bit darker at the base and lighter at the tip. With these lighter colours, the fact that it leaves some paper that you can see, white paper, it doesn't show up so much. With the darker, more intense colours, it does. Let's just do that stem, goes all the way down there. And let's also do this stem while we've got a nice sharp pencil. I like to take advantage of the sharp point. There we go. Actually, my next video that I've planned, series, it's only a short one. It needs really sharp points pencil, so I might have to use my Staedtlers, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet. Might use my polys, although I think that's it there. Now these could be leaves or flowers. Sorry you didn't see that bit at the bottom, sorry about that. I think it's all quite self-explanatory really. Just darker at the base, lighter at the tip. So these three, yes, as I say, they could be leaves or flowers, but I think I'll do them in a colour just to make them look a little brighter. And I am going to use a pink. I'm going to use the fuchsia actually. Here it is. Fuchsia. I don't know how easy that is to see. And again, like the others, a bit darker at the bottom and lighter at the tip. So I did say in yesterday's video that I wasn't sure whether to do lighter colours for the flowers around the outside, and I decided to stick with the lighter palette. So I've got the lighter section of the pencils that I'm just going to work from really. Now I need a green for those just little bits at the base there. I think I might use the cobalt green. It's quite a bluish one, but I think it'll work with the pink. Here it is, cobalt green. I have barely used this one. It's not really a colour that I would use for foliage normally. I'd probably use this for seawater, something like that, maybe. Don't know. Anyway, we've used it now. Pencils are rolling around. Right, so now this piece here, all these down here look to me like they're the same colour. They're the same plant, rather than the same colour. I think I'm going to use the willow green because it's a bit different to the other greens I've used, so it will stand out as being a bit different. So here it is, willow green. We'll probably end up using most of the greens, to be honest. So again, just fading towards the tip. But you can see this is more of a slightly olivey, browny green. I'm going to sharpen it because that's really fine there. Oh, my feet are chilly. I need to buy some slippers really that aren't dangerously sloppy and going to fall off my feet. But I don't know where from, because we're getting late into the season. I guess some people might have sale on slippers, but I wear slippers until June. My feet are always cold. I do wear thinner slippers. I do have some sort of pump type slippers rather than slipper boots that I wear as the weather gets a little bit warmer. But our weather is so silly at the moment that I wear slippers till June, and then between June and September I probably have bare feet because it is so stupidly hot, and then I'm back into boot slippers again. It is a bit silly, our British weather at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Last summer we didn't have too many stupidly hot days, so I'm crossing my fingers. I'm really hoping that will happen this time too. Now we have, it looks like a strawberry with little pips. I am going to start with the stem, thinking I think I'm going to use the shell pink for the stem. I may add some grey to it, it depends how it looks, but I'm going to start with this shell pink and use it here, and then sort of just develop my colours based around what will match with that really. Here I'm just going to fade to the tip. My boiler kicking in. Maybe the heating's coming on, maybe I'll get a bit warmer. Now where we've got this little bit of shadow here, I feel like I just want a little bit of darker colour, so I'm going to grab this pencil which we have used before, which is the cork, and I'm just going to put a little bit in here just to give the idea of shadow, and a bit under there like that. There we go. I don't know how visible that even is, but never mind. But I'm just procrastinating because I haven't decided what colour. I think I want like a corally type colour. What have we got? We've got a salmon pink and a coral. I think the coral is definitely the one. Oh, I think that's it. It's turned around the wrong way so I can't see the name. Yeah, coral. Now, what am I going to do with these dots? I'm going to just... I'm going to try to achieve what I did with the larger one and make it darker at the bottom and sides, and then come in towards the centre and get lighter. So here is my sort of darkest layer, or most intense layer, like that. And then I will sort of lighten, do less layers as I sort of bring that colour up, like that. trying to colour around those little, whatchamacallits. What, is there a name for them, I wonder? I wonder if there is a name for them. Oh, now I'm thinking. Right, I am going to go to, will that work? Nope. Peach, I think, might work. We'll give it a go. Here's the peach. So I'm going over some of what I've done already, so that it blends into the other colour. She says other colour, having already forgotten what it is. Coral, that's it. My memory isn't that bad. Oh, I've got a, reminds me I'm watching a podcast this afternoon on Alzheimer's. It's actually, there were some things about that I didn't know that I'm interested in learning, like the sort of takeaways for it, which you'll learn in watching it. This is Dr. Chatterjee, by the way, podcast that I listen to a lot. The main takeaways were why women tend to get Alzheimer's more than men, which I thought, my sister, because they live longer and men have heart attacks. I was like, I don't know if it's that simple. Things that you can do. And I think exercise is key. And it annoys me because I'm not a keen exerciser, but I know I need to do more. So if it can encourage me to do more, that's all the good. Now I am going to use this colour. This is called Jaune Brilliant. I just noticed it's spelt wrong. Brillant. Isn't there an I after the L? I don't know, maybe there's an alternative spelling. Sometimes the American spellings, although it's got English grey spelt in the English way with an E. I don't know. And I'm going to do these, and I'm going to leave a little bit of white around the edge of each of them, like I did with the ones on the main mushroom toadstool thingy. I can't remember what I called it in my video description. Should I write it down? No, I don't know what I called it. Oh well. Now our snail. Now I'm going to go back to my darker colours from my snail because I want to use a grey. It's not dark grey, I'm going to use a light grey, but we don't have greys in our pastels because they were in this section. So this is the warm grey too, so it's a really pale grey, and I'm going to use that for his body once I've sharpened it. Yeah, my son was saying to me this, he was reading something and it had the word paradigm. And he said, is that even spelt right? He spelt it to me, sent it to me, the word, so I could look at the spelling. Oh, yeah, that's spelt right. He was like, that's horrible. I was like, yeah, no. I said, that's probably, he said that's vile. I said, no, I don't think it's vile. This is tan that I'm using for the shell. Really light first, really light. I said, no, I don't think it's horrible. It's probably Latin. But it's weird spelling, isn't it? P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M. But you would expect it to probably be spelt P-A-R-A-D-I-M-E. But no. Why would the English language make sense? It's not, does it? And even in different dialects and different ways that different countries use the language, it still doesn't make a lot of sense. Always. Right, let's move across. We've got this little grassy clump here, or leafy clump. We're going to turn back to our paler greens. I am going to do these. Oh, no, we've got these berries either side of the door. I guess we should be doing those as well. What colour for those? I'm going to use the sea fog. I was going to use cherry blossom, but I don't think it's going to show up enough. This is a darker colour, sea fog. I'm going to need it really sharp. I was thinking of using ash rose, but we've used it quite a lot here and there, so I just wanted to do a different colour. yeah, our language is an interesting one and so hard to learn. I think obviously for natives we're okay. We just grew up with it. We don't know any different. But really, for anyone, I have so much admiration for people that can speak English and when it's not their first language, because I can't speak any other languages. I am going to use the misty green for these leaves here. You know, I learnt a bit of French and German at school, but you know, I can only remember the odd word. I always found it really quite difficult. So I just have, I mean, it could be partly a brain thing, in that some of us are good at certain things and some of us aren't. In fact, I was doing some course. It's an online course. And the person giving the course said he firmly, there's a bit of mushroom, believes that everyone has some sort of special gift. Now, I always used to think this was a bit of a nonsense. Like, you know, when you read like Mallory Towers books, I'm trying to remember what colour this was. I'm going to go back to my list of colours. Was it a warm grey? It looks like it was. When I used to read Mallory Towers books, I'm going to try warm grey 4. I would, there were certain characters who would have like a gift for, say, playing the piano, or, why am I doing that bit? I don't know. Or whatever it might be. And I used to think this was a nonsense, because I didn't know anyone who, and every girl seemed to have a gift for something, whether it was sport, piano, singing, acting, impersonating people, maths, or whatever it was. Everyone seemed to have it. And I was like, this is just nonsense. In my experience of going to school, meeting various different people, nobody seemed to, you know, there weren't people with these amazing sort of things going on. I've decided that I'm going to do these set of mushrooms in rose grey. So I'm just going to sharpen it. So I thought, this is nonsense, but actually what he meant was that it didn't have, I'm going to do the whole thing, but quite gently to start with and then build up some layers. What he meant wasn't that everyone has this phenomenal, outstanding talent that's really obvious and, you know, they're the best at it in the class, world, family, whatever it might be. What he meant was that everyone has something that they are particularly good at. And it doesn't mean that you are the best in the world, just that you're good at it. And I had to think, oh, okay, now that does make a little bit of sense, that maybe we are better at something than other things. So, by the way, this course was called Mind Store for Life. It's by Jack Black. You can find it on his website. I'm doing a bit of free advertising for him now. I did his first course back in the 1990s, and he's just launching them as a series of online courses. I'm doing this in the same way as I did the mushrooms at the top, but because of the colour I've chosen, I think I don't need to use any other colours. I think that gives us enough definition. Because someone said to him he needs to leave a legacy. He's getting older. There are other people who teach his courses in different countries, in different languages, you know. But he's trying to get all his courses sort of recorded before he retires, I suppose. And it's quite interesting because he's modernised them a little bit, and that was interesting. Because, you know, I haven't really revisited it. I haven't seen a modern one. I've been using the tools, is the word he uses, that he gives you to use ever since I did the course Surf Green. But I haven't. This one's been sharpened to a very long point, hasn't it? But I haven't listened to a modern course because I didn't need to buy a new one. But he was selling this course and it was £36, and I decided that I wanted to sort of revisit it and have it in an accessible way, and I thought it would be interesting. But it's just a sort of summary course. It's a few hours long of the main thing, but I found it really interesting. I did have a couple of improvements he could make, which I passed on to him, which I think he appreciated. He answered me personally when I put them on YouTube. The course isn't on YouTube, but he had a YouTube video. It was only a minor thing. It was that the meditation part of the course, the volume was different to the lecture part. I had to turn the volume up really loud. I had my headphones on, and then when I went to the lecture bit, I forgot to turn it down, and I jumped out my skin. It was fine, but I thought, you know, I think it's worthwhile feedback to next time to just be aware of that, you know. And I think he appreciated that, really. You know, I wasn't being funny about it. But the course teaches you things like how to be more relaxed, how to, I'm just coming right out because I'm going to do this greenery for this one, and it goes all the way from top to bottom. I'm using the lettuce green. I'm just going to sharpen it, and the lettuce green is very pale. It's quite difficult to get a difference in intensity, so I'm just going to block it in, I think. I'm going to try, but I think it's, you know, because of the shade, you can't really make it lighter and darker. You can't fade it very much. So I'm just going to do my best, really. I do want to try and fade it to the tip. I've got to work out what's going on with all these stems. But anyway, so it's about positivity, using positive language, and reducing stress. There's a bit about getting energy. He didn't go into detail on this particular course, you know, giving yourself more energy. I don't usually need to use that bit because I'm usually okay energy-wise until it's sort of after tea in the evening, but that's my time to sit and rest anyway. I don't normally need energy in the evening, but if I do have an evening thing, my adrenaline kicks in anyway, so I didn't really need that. And basically goal setting and achieving things you want to achieve and deciding what you want to achieve, that sort of thing. But I've always found he's packaged it together. When he first did his courses, he used to make a lot of points and not always explain how they were relevant to what he was teaching, but he's improved that over the years, which you would expect from someone who'd been teaching a course for 30 years or whatever. So now that's a little bit clearer as to how it all fits together, which I think is good. Oh, excuse me, this is rose pink, and I'm going to do all these bluebells in rose pink because I've done a blue flower on the other side. I'm going to try and fade them down towards the bottom. But you can find him on YouTube, Jack Black. I don't know if he has Mindstore in his YouTube name, and he has little, it just like, it looks like to me, I think he walks his dog with a selfie stick and does a little chat to camera. I think sometimes it's a little bit of a ramble about things that if you haven't done the course you might get a bit lost, if you know what I mean. But I think it's a good way to find out what he's like. Now he's Glaswegian. I find his accent fine, having lived in Glasgow. I'm sort of a bit used to it. I can't do the really coarse accents, but so that might be tricky. There were subtitles though on the video, and they seemed pretty good. They were the ones that YouTube put on the auto subtitles, if you know what I mean. So automatically generated. Sorry, I just got to wipe my nose. So they were those, but I thought they were quite good, so they might be helpful. A few of the words were completely wrong, but I suspect that happens with my videos too. I have those on as well. I'm just trying to choose between the jade green and the opal green. The opal green is very similar, is more similar to the lettuce green, but the jade green is more bluey. Maybe I'll choose the colour for the flower first, that might make more sense. Now I could use the smalt blue, which is very pretty, but let me see what we've got. We need to try and balance. So we've got our pink here. We've also got a pink at the bottom, so we don't want another pink, that's for sure. We've got purples, we've got quite a lot of purples. We've got blue and pink on the other side. I think we need another blue. So actually, I think a blue would be good, but is the smalt blue is a little bit purpley. I think I'm going to use the saxe blue actually. This is more of a grey blue, it's rather nice, I always think. But you know, you can pick whatever you want. And then we'll choose our green after, see which one is going to go. Of course I could use one of the regular greens. Some of them are quite pale. So fading to the tip, like this. But yes, he also has books, and you might be able to get them from your library. Mind Store for Life, I think it's called. I've got a very old signed copy somewhere from when I went to one of his courses. He didn't like sign it for me. I'm going to use the celadon. I think that's going to work best. He was just selling ones that were pre-signed. You could queue up and talk to him, and actually my husband did. He thanked him because I met my husband because of the course. So I visualised meeting someone and, you know, like him. So that was rather good. Right, here we go. We are done. Now, background. I am not going to do a background. There's several reasons for this. Firstly, I don't think it needs one. Secondly, I'm not sure whether if I try to rub some pastel over here, I would smudge all the Holbein pencil. So I don't want to risk that. I haven't really tried to see whether they're very smudgy, particularly these dark colours. And I think if I try to do it, some of these colours are really light and the background will go over the top of them and might spoil it. So there's a few reasons for it. So I'm not doing a background. A pencil background wouldn't smudge, but where'd you go? Because you can go around here. You can see this bit would, but then when you go around here, where'd you stop? I don't know. So I'm not doing a background. I think it looks really nice on the white paper anyway. So that's another reason. But there it is finished. Yeah, I hope that was okay. I've really enjoyed doing this one. It is a picture I really like. I hope there's something like this in the new book. Might be. We'll find out, I guess. I've seen a few of the pictures from the new book. I know there's a lovely circle of flowers. There is a bunny with florals around it. I don't know what else I've seen. But yeah, I think it's going to be rather lovely. But there is that one done. Thank you so much for watching the series. I hope you have a lovely week. Hopefully you'll pop back and watch a few more videos before next week's. But I will be back for next week's planner, which I think is March. Yeah, we're going to March. Shall we have a look? Don't look away if you don't want a spoiler. Oh, it's a succulents page. I love that page, but it's very small. I would have thought taking 4 of them or 6 of them might have been easier. But anyway, I'll have a think. We'll come up with something. But thank you for watching. Have a super day, super week, everything else, and happy colouring.